Seems like no matter what I do, I can never seem to get a WordPress website to work without having to pay tons and tons of money, downloading tons and tons of plugins. So frustrating. Okay, there's got to be something I can do. Failure is not an option. All right, so what I could do, I know, I will create something that's like WordPress, but easier to work with. All right, it might be hard, but I'm going to go through it. Long nights, lots of coding, lots of learning, NodeJS, Nuxt. What else did I use? Nuxt, Vue, of course. Don't forget about Vue. And it's actually pretty fun. And I learned quite a lot. I'm moving, making a lot of progress. All right, I'm showing you all these random clips of me pretending to work. I worked on this, okay, get this, for a whole freaking year. And what do I have to show for it? Yes. Okay, guys, I did it. I just created JxtPress. Hey, what's going on, everyone? So as the video just alluded to, I have always wanted to have a website that is a complement to the content I make here on the channel, particularly on topics like assembly, language programming, Linux, whatever it happens to be. But I've always found WordPress to be a significant limiter in terms of being able to customize it so I can have sort of like a community, a store, be able to extend it and show the content I want to show in a very easy to kind of digest way. I wanted to have sort of like a way to have a layout that's easy to adjust on the fly without having to do a complete rewrite of themes for the website. All that is to say, I loathe WordPress with a complete passion. But I'm not going to dog too much on WordPress and get to the crux of this video, which is to say, for the better part of 2024, I have worked diligently to build an alternative to WordPress that I call JxtPress. I have worked on this in various other fashions previously, and each of those iterations have sucked completely. It's something that I would be very embarrassed to kind of show anybody, but this particular version is so awesome that I'm excited to share with you, and I want to post this video well before 2025 comes around. So it is the eve of 2024 that I have worked on this thing, and I want to show you it in all its glory. So it is with the great esteem, right, that I show you JxtPress. Okay, now I'm not going to get too technical in its code base. I just want to demonstrate its minimum functionality currently. I don't know if I should bring up this kind of, let me see. Let me get to JxtPress just as a summary of it. Okay. I think, yeah. So here is basically some of the crux of it all. JxtPress, its symbol, it's coming out there. It's going to be great. And out of the box, it has a visual block editor that I'll get to. It has a content versioning control system. It has dynamic blocks. Dynamic blocks means you can have sort of like a loop where you can pass in custom render functions or use pre-built render functions. There's many different options, so you don't have to rewrite something from scratch if you don't want to. It comes with SEO out of the box. It comes with Cron tasks that you can kind of set up and hook into using extended plugins that you can write that are very easy. I mean, it has e-commerce. I put that as pending. It has e-commerce already built in out of the box with the core package itself. This thing is freaking loaded. All right. It has analytics to tell you like which pages are doing well versus not doing well in terms of the viewage, readership and all that. You can comment on content. I haven't, well, yes, actually it does have the sitemap generation already. So it has a lot of stuff. So I'm not going to get into that, but I don't want to make this video too long because I want to have it be the crux of the content, like of the core functionality of JxtPress. So to get started, I will show you by going to the homepage of whatever, let's pretend this is your website. On the homepage, going to blah, 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 your website / the root drive. So what you have is an ability to have content on the page. You have the layout of the page, which is just a layout. And then you have the post itself that you can then edit. Now, so I'll show you some of the atomic structure of kind of what's happening there. But it's significant to kind of highlight there's going to be a pre-content wrapper, post-content wrapper, like down here and stuff, and as well as intra-content wrapper. And what that is really is just an ability to use plugins to kind of write additional wrapper HTML around whatever the layout and the post itself happens to be. That sounds complicated, but it's extremely easy, okay? But more to the point of the layout. So when you click on the layout, it is itself another post. Everything is a post, and every post has a bunch of blocks within it to specify what you want to lay out and all that stuff. So this is a post, and this is one of my favorite pieces of JxtPress, which is the editor itself. The editor, the block editor that edits everything, manages your website. Almost everything is a block, and you can create blocks using plugins at, by any whims you deem necessary. So with that layout, what you were seeing is, hey, look, this is sort of the header, the banner of your website, where you can then specify. I should move this over a little bit to kind of show you. So you have, the title. That's going to be this basically over here. It specifies JxtPress, the website JxtPress. Then you can have an image banner. I haven't put that in there. But then when you click on it, it tells you where to navigate to. So you can be on your website / about page. And then that will be like, let's return back to the home page. That becomes the URL. There's different styles you can specify and so many options. And then from here, you have sort of a repeating sort of menu options where you have the home page that corresponds to each of these things. And then you can specify additional CSS classes and stuff to be passed into it that further customizes each of the links. And this is sort of borrows from Tailwind sort of utility classes and all that stuff to kind of specify the HTML styling and things. And then you have conditional rendering, not just within this particular block here, but specifically for the entire block. You can specify additional block conditional rendering. So for example, you can add a block here and say, hey, whenever these conditions are met, blah, 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 you can specify conditions if it's, like, you get the idea. I don't want to get too much technical with this all, but the point is you have block editors and they're extremely useful. So here you can specify the post image, which is like the feature image of the post that you can set. And that you're basically specifying, this is where I want to have the post image be. This is where I want to put the description. This is where I want to put the content. And this is where the content gets kind of fed into. And then here you can embed other posts if you want to. Let's say you have this becomes a variable of sorts where you can say, hey, for whatever this post happens to be, I want to embed some other content, which is something blah, 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 just a test there. And these are like a pickable sort of content type where if you start searching it, it'll then sort of show you the results. I don't want to get too technical at this point. And you notice here too, I have some little icons that indicates that this has, I believe it does. Yeah, it indicates that it has conditional rendering. So this is saying that I want this block to only render when the post type for this page happens to be a product. If it happens to be a product, then go ahead and show this particular block. And then that repeats. It's the same here. In this case, if it happens to be a page, then render this, and so on and so forth. And so this basically sets out your layout, okay? And so going back to the main page then that we were just showing, if you want to edit the page, which, it gets put in its place, and then this becomes the content. And you can say, well, I want to, H1 tag, or you can specify dynamically level 2, level 3 H tags, and so forth. Post content. What is a post content? This becomes an ability to utilize plugins that you write to put intra content sort of wrapper, where instead of saying, hey, blocks are great, but sometimes you want to programmatically generate content through the plugins that you may have. I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot here. So I'm just so excited to kind of show everybody like this thing I've been working for with such a love of passion, working on this. And I think this is by far better than WordPress. I know everybody says that about something that they worked so diligently on, but in this particular case, I believe it, and it is better. And so this becomes like paragraph tags and so forth. Like you can see the names over there, like paragraph tags. And this is a table. You can customize the table by saying, okay, I want to include some header CSS or whatever. Let me see here. Include header. What is the header actually? Include header. What is the header? Oh yeah, so the headers are these things. I'm kind of have to remember. I've worked on this for so long now. So you can have like, hey, this is the name columns, and as well as the age, and then so these are each individual columns, and you can add more columns as you need to. Let's say XYZ, XYZ, and this is just XYZ, so forth. And then if you want to add something, you can be like, yo, So it's like very much in the fly sort of editing. And I know WordPress has a lot of these, but for example, okay, just the ridiculousness of what happens. Why doesn't WordPress blocks that are native to WordPress come with a lot more features to include things like conditional rendering out of the box, rather than having to pay something like WordPress block visibility plugin, where you have to pay additional premiums to be able to use its main features that you're wanting. But anyways, I digress. So this is an ability to have render functions where, sometimes you want to like write core rendering capability. So you're able to write additional dynamic displays of code by using raw JavaScript basically to be able to do additional functionality that's outside of what I currently have built into JxtPress. So giving you full control if should you want to, but there's a lot of blocks available. I think there's over like 50 blocks that do a lot of dynamic different things. So it'll be very rare cases that you may want to use this, but should you want to, it's there. So just a case in point, if I highlight here, this is how you can select different blocks. I'm obviously not going to go into all the different blocks, but you have cards, you have a typewriter sort of behavior, you have carousels, you have call to actions, galleries. I'm just kind of scrolling through all these lists, paragraphs, raw HTML, different sets of post blocks that does really cool, amazing items, things for, e-commerce and such, content scripting, containers, tables, and videos. A lot of things already come natively with the application. So, I mean, if you're seeing what I'm seeing, like it's cool. In addition, it comes with superb SEO functionality where, like you're able to specify, let's see here, keywords and tags that then get built as part of your SEO kind of functionality for searchability. In addition, as you're kind of typing here, it gives you like little hints to say, hey, you know what? Like if it happens to be that you don't have as many keywords within your content that you've specified here, let's say job, fun, and read. I don't know, job, fun, and read. So if you have something like that, and you save that, and then you come here, job, fun, and read. See, it goes from that red color to that green color. But all that's just suggest and let you know that maybe you could optimize your title a bit more so that it'll be discoverable in relationship with the keywords you have specified in the content and in the title, so everything just is more cohesive. In addition, I've already mentioned that it has sitemap auto generation, so it makes like you're ready to go if you're running a website here. So again, it's a visual editor. What else did I want to show? You have a settings page that you're kind of able to specify a whole sets of different sets of variables. It has cron jobs. So with these cron jobs, I'm not sure if it's able to kind of show you. There's background activities running. Let me see. So like here is an example. A little while ago, a cron job ran every 5 minutes. And so you can hook into this particular plugin hook, which would then run a sets of a JavaScript that you've specified at it in regular repeating intervals to then do additional automation on your website. So again, this is what JxtPress is about. It's about giving the developer, the website owner, the ability to have a full-fledged working application that's able to do a lot more than you would get out of WordPress out of the box. And you wouldn't have to pay a shit ton of money to be able to do all that stuff. So that is JxtPress, and that's why I'm so excited about it. I will be putting out some more videos on the topic because I want it, and I need your help to have it be the replacement for WordPress. We can do it because this is amazing. Okay, I know I'm kind of biased a little bit because I wrote it and all that things. Spent the better part of 2024 writing it. Actually, I rewrote it based off of the initial version, which again I'm telling you sucked. But this is much better. So just sort of like it's viewed. I mean, you're kind of looking at some of its functionality. Some of it's in development. This is a endpoint. I think this is it's under the post route. Let's see what's a good way to kind of show you. So it's the endpoint is API post an ID. This is a way to get a particular post based off of its ID, and it fetches it, gives it to user. So this is sort of how its code base is built. And then you have here, so under the API, you have the core engine itself. It's based off of its core library, followed by post, plugins, users, and of course database sort of manipulation here. As far as plugins, so just to kind of show you how a plugin is written, so within the library. So this is an example plugin. So on your website, you'll have something called site plugins as a folder that's auto-generated as soon as you spin up an instance of JxtPress. So in that folder, you can then have folders that represent your plugins, and then from that, you'll be able to write your stuff. And so each of them looks like this. So it's basically a class that you export, and you'll have a constructor where you give it its name and its description, and then you just have they all follow the syntax of action on. I'm sorry, no, they don't. These are default behaviors that are called whenever your plugin spins up. And then these are hooks that gets called cron job. You can execute a cron job, and then they will do whatever happens to do. And then these are hooks that get called. The primary ones are going to be filter, a post, and then they're always passed in the core library, which includes all these things, and then the data that you can then filter, manipulate, and do whatever you want to do to. So you have filters, and these are the before page wrappers, intra page wrappers, and after page wrappers. And now there's going to be a full documentation that I'm going to get into writing so that none of this is confusing. I don't want it to be as confusing as WordPress. I don't want to repeat the same mistakes. But so just know that there will be easy documentation that's going to be quick to follow. But this is just an excitement that I want to show. And I'll post this video well before the new year. So that's why I wanted to just kind of in haste share with everybody. So there's that. Let's see. Just giving you a taste of sort of like how to register different things to make it appear on the website. A lot of it is objects and functions just kind of being callable. Let's see. So, well, that's the back end piece of plugins. So what if we go to the front end of how you then manipulate and activate, deactivate plugins? So you go to your plugins page, and here is that particular plugin that I just kind of demonstrated. So should you want to, you don't even have to go from your website. You don't necessarily want to dive into like the backend code and pull up VS Code and edit all that stuff and then push it back to your server and all that. You can do it all from your front end, front end, back end of your website. So what you can then do is say, hey, get the code for the plugin, and then it'll list out all the different files that comprise your plugin that's in that particular folder that we just talked about. And so you can then edit it right in place. It pops up a nice little nifty editor for you. And then you go ahead and visualize in full syntax coding and see kind of what's going on. You can then update it. Well, you can't see the update button, but there's an update button, I promise you, towards the bottom there. And then it gets updated. And should you want to, you can create a whole plugin, right in place. You can just say, oh, I wanted to name it this or whatever, and then boom, boom, and then create, and then you're good to go. So amazing stuff. Let's see what else is there. My favorite piece of learning and building this has been the block editor. The block editor is beautiful. It's very intuitive, it's very reactive. And the second part of what I've enjoyed by working on this project has been understanding more about Vue's render functions. And it is a freaking powerhouse. It is the horse that's made everything just so easy. Like if you want to get into rendering, if you want to get into Vue, okay, understand the Vue basics, but spend a lot of time learning about render functions. They are powerful. Okay, so that's going to be it for this video. I believe there's going to be a lot more to digest. This video's gone on for way too long, but I am so excited and pleased to share with you my completion of the project JxtPress. It's a replacement for WordPress. It comes out of the box native with a lot more features that you don't have to pay an arm and a leg for. And even for the very sort of non-developer person, it gives you a lot of control and power over your website in a very visual format. What more can you ask for? So it's amazing. I am looking at the same time. I incorporated a company that owns JxtPress, and that company is called Rockstar Web Dev. It's looking for funding, and I want to literally have some advertisements and have some additional individuals help me with this further development of JxtPress. So in saying that, I mean, and I will be asking for donations to help fund its efforts, because that's how I want to help make JxtPress mainstream. Thank you for watching.